So, in this video, I want to talk about something that is absolutely critical and crucial to your success in digital marketing. And so, today we're going to talk about language being the ultimate money making technology. Language is the ultimate money making technology. Now, when you hear the word language, most people will think of something like literature, poetry, speech, if you're in business or if you're in digital marketing, you're going to think about copywriting, right? And all of that is true. But I want you to conceive of language as a technology. And I think the best way to explain this is to imagine thousands of years ago when men did not discover or did not invent language yet. So if you've seen the movie Odyssey, or I think it was 2001, there's a scene where there's a bunch of prehistoric men who are fighting each other, and the only way they could communicate was to use like wooden sticks and stuff like that. So there was no language at the time, and therefore force was the only way that human beings could communicate with one another. So for example, if I'm bigger than you, then you're going to do what I tell you to do. If I have a weapon in my hand, then you're going to do what I tell you to do. And so there was no language. But with the invention of language, and here we're talking about verbal language, people began to collaborate. And then with the invention of writing, I think it started with the Sumerians, then people were able to collaborate over time and space. For example, if I tell you something, I have to be there in the same space as you are, and we have to talk in real time. But if I write a piece of paper, then I can communicate something to you across time and across space, right? And so once you understand language in that way, once you go back in time and you imagine what life was like before the invention of language, it was very brutish, it was very violent, it was difficult to collaborate with other people, then you really can begin to appreciate the power of language. Like even today, when people use email or social media or YouTube, those technologies are great, but at the center of those technologies is language, right? It's the words that you're using to communicate an idea, to convince people of something, etc. So once you understand the importance and the power of language, then you can use it in a way that is strategic, so that you can win in business. And obviously, the people who are in sales or the people who are copywriters, they intuitively understand that language is the key to success, right? Because there's no way I can sell you, or it would be extremely difficult for me to sell you a product or service without using language, right? Because I have to explain to you what the product does. I have to explain the benefits, the features. I have to overcome your objections. I have to, everything is done through language. I think one insight I had recently, somebody was talking about ChatGPT, and he was saying that every business is a language business. And I found that to be a very powerful insight. So language is the ultimate money making technology. So how is that possible? Well, it's possible because to sell something, you have to use language. To recruit investors, you have to use language. You have to use language as an expert. The problem is that most people have not learned, even at school, even at university, how to use language expertly, like a master. And the ultimate test as to whether you're able to use language expertly is whether you're able to sell a product to someone who needs it, or you're able to write sales copy that convinces the reader to take action and pull out his credit card. I mean, that's the ultimate test, because if your communication or your usage of language doesn't result in the other person taking the action that you want him to take, then how do you know that you've been effective as a communicator, right? So you have to really have some kind of a test. as to whether you succeeded in communicating an idea. Now, sometimes you don't need to get money from the other person in order to see evidence that you have mastered language. Comedians, for example, when they tell a joke and right after the punchline they hear people laugh, then that's proof positive that they effectively communicated an idea. Okay. So if you want to succeed in business, and this is something we teach at the Open Digital University, you really, really, really have to understand that language is the ultimate money making technology. Language, not code. You can be the best JavaScript programmer, you can be the best photographer, you can be the best at editing videos, you can be the best at search engine optimization. It doesn't matter. You're not going to make money because ultimately, at the end of the day, you have to communicate a benefit, an idea, a conviction, a vision, a mission. You have to communicate that to the other person in a way that compels the other person to take action. So once again, I want to repeat this because a lot of times people don't understand the purpose of communication, the purpose of salesmanship. The purpose of communication is to get the other person to take action. That's the ultimate purpose of communication in a business context, okay? Not necessarily in a personal or social context. When you talk to your friends, you can communicate a feeling, etc., without the other person taking action. They can just laugh and they can just have a good time with you. But in a business context, you really have to set higher standards for yourself. You have to really embrace the definition of communication as the process whereby you're getting the other person to take the action that you want her to take. Okay, so that's the ultimate test. And to the extent that you practice this process of communication, this process of getting the other person to take a specific action, then you will become better and better at communication. And therefore, it's not going to be hard for you to sell to other people online or offline. You can also sell through copywriting. It's not going to be difficult for you to make money on the internet because the internet is really just the medium through which you uh, use language to transfer ideas, convictions, beliefs so that the other person will take action. So, one of the courses that we're teaching at the Open Digital University is copywriting, and there are different levels beginner, intermediate, and advanced. And basically, the purpose of copywriting is to communicate something across time and space. So it doesn't have to be real time. It doesn't have to occur in the same room. You don't have to be in the same room as the other person. The purpose of copywriting is really to transfer information and conviction so that the other person, who could be halfway around the world, they will read your email, your landing page, etc., and they will take action. Either they join your email list or they pull out their credit card and they're buying something from you. So this is something that is so crucial to your success in digital marketing and business that it's the first course that we're teaching at the Open Digital University because we want you to start practicing every single day. You got to practice your salesmanship and your copywriting. And as you practice those two skills and you get better at them, then it's not going to be difficult for you to make money online because language is the ultimate money making technology. All right, that's the video I had for you today. If you liked it, please share it with your friends, your family, your collaborators, and I'll see you in the next video.